right, welcome to our White Towel video panel here. Myself and Ed Willis, we're going to talk a little bit about the Canucks Anniversary Series that we've been doing. Again, that's why we have this wonderful wallpaper behind us. Hello, Kurt. How are you?
Where's Kurt? No, I know he's got
promoted to the keep getting pushed as we get new ones. They keep getting pushed out. But
we're getting a lot of feedback. I'm getting a lot of feedback, by the way. There's there's this shadow Kurt Ridley
fan club. It has been fantastic, Ed. We've traveled all the way from the 70s.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the current decade now. But as we finish up in February, as we highlight the 2000 to 2010, again, another remarkable decade with highs and lows and all the way through like complete sea changes of the team. But it's fun reading where we are now, sort of the late 2000s as Roberto Luongo was the story when he came to town, and then he re-signed, and then he had the team on his back. But then there's I shouldn't even say the resurgence, just the emergence of the Sedins as elite players.
And
the end of that decade really was, we saw something special coming together.
Yeah, and it said so much about them and their careers and the way they went about it, because like it really is incremental. From the time they step into the league and they take this one step to, okay, now they're kind of like, they're everyday players, probably support level. Oh, no, now they're actually point-a-game players. No, now they're superstars. Now they're winning like Hart trophies and Art Rosses. And it was amazing because there wasn't just kind of one moment where they leapt out of the phone booth in a Superman costume. It was just kind of, you watch this, it was almost like, the time element photography, where you watch something change time like that. Yeah. Thank you. I'm good with words.
Time photography.
But that's what it was. And that season Henrik had in 09-010, that was really something special. If I remember it right, and I really hope I do, that was the year that Daniel was out of the lineup for, I think the first was 15 to 20 games, and Henrik just carried the team offensively. And the other thing is they'd had Matt Sundin the year before. Yeah. So he was kind of his show, and he stepped up.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, one of your favorite subjects, Mike Gillis.
Yes.
And the reason why is, as we're highlighting some of the original reporting, the Canucks had this record still stands. They won 11 games in a row at home. But you wrote this column about it at the time that talked about, I think, something that's quite widely forgotten, is the Canucks had this epic losing streak the year before. Mm-hmm. And really, everyone was calling for Vigneault to be fired. Yeah. And Gillis held tight on that, and then not only did we see that winning streak, but that's when we saw a Stanley Cup finals appearance, 2 President's trophies. And you look back now and you think, if a coach at that period who hadn't had success had that long of a losing streak, they'd be gone.
Yeah. No, and right. And if I remember right, it's a game against Carolina, and I think Alex Burrows scores a go-ahead goal. And there was some thought if they lose that one, Vigneault gets fired. It was Gillis, you think back to that introductory press conference, and he came out with guns blazing, do we really have the players who can, deliver it? And I'm going to, review every aspect of the organization from top to bottom.
Bold
and
moves.
You think, exactly. And that was it. And then he did all that, and it was kind of status quo. Yeah. But he did, and sticking with the Sedins, sticking with Vigneault, sticking with a lot of the players that were already there, Burrows, Kessler, Bieksa, et cetera. I mean, it was, and he actually figured out the landscape pretty well. I think he got lucky with Sundin. If he signs that 2-year contract, that changes a lot of things. But as it was, they had the pieces together, and then they built around them, and he did a masterful job of managing the payroll.
And one of the fun things, funny you mentioned those names, is as you saw in that 11-game win streak, it wasn't necessarily the Sedins that were dragging them through. It was the emergence of Kessler and Burrows as not just solid grit guys or good defensively, but guys who could contribute offensively as well, all the way through. And also Bieksa, you start to see his voice really come through as a leader. You understand how that so-called core really came together.
Yeah, that 9 to 10 season is Kessler's really emergence. He's a 75-point centerman. I believe he's a Selke finalist that year. And I've said this before, wrote it when he was in here, the Canucks have never had a player like the 2009 to 2011 version of Ryan Kessler.
All right, thanks, Ed. Thanks, everyone, for watching. You can catch up on all of our Canucks at 50 coverage. We have a special section for it on our website. Look for it there. Thank you to Key West Ford, keywestford.com, BC's largest selection of Mustangs.